I have so many wires. Oh, that's what I was supposed to order. Crap. I need like a USB deck attached to my laptop. I just have so many things
Yeah.
here. It is straight up impossible for me to like do anything.
Damn.
So tangled. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza,
My name's Asher Hire.
and we are somewhat consistent. It's 2 weeks in a row, I
Yes,
think,
sir.
almost. Maybe a little more, but close enough. Um, but yeah, we will be talking just about NFL in general. We'll go into some predictions for week one, with it starting on Thursday with Chiefs Ravens, which is a banger of a week one game, finally. I mean, last year's is pretty good, but normally they don't, they kind of offer up a soft, like a, you know, they offer a softie for
Yeah.
the week one just so that the team can get ready. But um, this one's a really good one, rematch of the AFC Championship game, and then we'll talk about the other games, and we'll also go into the Broncos roster because that was finalized last week after their last preseason game against whoever I don't even remember, the Cardinals, um, which is a good game. Honestly, Denver played phenomenal in the preseason, so I'm sure this was a very tough decision for them. And I'm pretty sure we talked about it. Like this week, this last week for NFL coaches, this has to be the worst week of their lives. Like every single week, just because of how tough it is in terms of just like straight up ending careers for a lot of people. And it might be by a minuscule amount, but yeah. So first off, we'll talk about the Broncos roster. What were your first reactions? Obviously, there's a big one with them releasing Tim Patrick, but overall, what are your thoughts on it going into week one?
Yeah, I guess the Tim Patrick one got the biggest like reaction out of me just because he's been there a while. But um I feel like honestly, just with the way Vele has been playing in camp and in the preseason, that it's really not that much of a surprise to let Tim Patrick go. Vele's younger than Patrick. He's not young overall in his draft class. He's 26 as a rookie, but with Patrick being what is he like 30, around 30 probably.
Yeah, 31, 30,
Yeah,
around that
yeah.
age.
Vele just kind of gives you everything Tim Patrick does at a cheaper cost, and you can keep him around for longer. So, he's got like the great like leaping catch ability, on the boundary, like over the shoulder catches that Tim Patrick does. I think he can. We haven't really seen like I feel like Tim Patrick's greatest strength was just going over the middle of the field and catching it, and then like quickly like putting the ball away right before he gets hit by a linebacker. Like he's not afraid to go down the middle of the field and take a big hit and come down with the catch. Obviously, his run blocking skills also is what made him a huge positive on offense. And Vele, he's kind of labeled as a good run blocker. Sean Payton said that. So he brings you a little bit of that, but we haven't really seen him. I feel like go down the middle of the field, and take a big hit. Obviously, he hasn't had that many snaps, so it's yet to be seen. But I really think he just gives you pretty much exactly what Tim Patrick does. As I said, at a cheaper cost and a younger age. So, that was kind of my reaction. Was sad, but not really surprised, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, I was like shocked when it first happened, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what, that makes sense. And it was, I feel like it was a foregone conclusion after McLaughlin had played well during the preseason. Estime had a really good third game. Tyler Beatty played really well during the preseason. Like P
Yeah,
Ryan was, I feel like it was a pretty foregone conclusion that Samaje P Ryan wasn't gonna be back. Um, so once you take that into equation, you look at it as like, all right, they want to get cheaper and younger at skill positions. It makes sense. They didn't want to pay Jerry Judy, so they traded him. They didn't, they don't want to have to keep employing Tim Patrick. Obviously, with his contract and the injury history, you don't know what he's going to look like. He looked good in preseason. Like he did look really solid in preseason. But like you said, his age and the injury history is bad. I mean, ACL in one leg and Achilles in the other. Like that really, really sucks for a receiver on the wrong side of 30. And they signed Josh Reynolds too, like who is essentially this very, very similar to Tim Patrick and Devon Vele. Like just a big bodied receiver who can make contested catches, make plays over the middle. You know, sure-handed. He's not a guy who drops a ton of passes, and he's just a very solid, second or third receiver. So they have a lot of that archetype when they just needed some more variety. Hopefully, this means that Troy Franklin will get some more opportunities. I think it's more so to get Marvin Mims some more opportunity, but who knows? An injury happens. Denver sucks. They might have to shut down some veterans. You know, Franklin impresses in practice, Mims impresses in practice, and they just get those guys more reps. So it's
Yeah.
what that is. I mean, with the Pirine decision, this happening, like you said, it's not a surprise. It just really sucks. I mean, but it is a rebuild for Denver. Like we also have to understand that. Like this is a full-on rebuild. They got rid of Russ. They moved on from Von Miller a couple of years ago. They moved on from Bradley Chubb. They moved on from Brandon McManus. They moved on from Judy. They moved on from Justin Simmons this offseason. Like there's a lot of guys who have been a part of the team who are not here anymore, and that's the plan. That's what the plan is
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah,
And
I thought just like one more thing on the receiver thing. I also felt like it was the group was like too crowded of kind of big, slow guys, and I felt like that kind of led
yeah,
to Patrick's departure too. Like with them bringing in Josh Reynolds, he can like work in the slot, but he's still kind of a big guy, and not very fast. Sutton the same thing. Vele, Lil Jordan Humphrey who got cut, but as we saw last year, he got cut, but he got elevated, I think, like every single game off the practice squad. You can bring up two guys, and I think it's going to be Humphrey and Burton
yeah,
every game. Um, and so, Lil Jordan is still on the team, but he's another one of those big guys. So, I mean, just too crowded of guys like that. Obviously, you want to keep Troy Franklin, your rookie, on the team. So, yeah, it just wasn't the right fit for Patrick, but he went to Detroit, right?
yeah.
I think,
Honestly, that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
great location for him. And essentially, him and Josh Reynolds just swapped spots. Josh Reynolds came from Detroit. Detroit still, I mean, they have good receivers, obviously. Jameson Williams is expected to take a big leap. Amon-Ra St. Brown is, the do-it-all Swiss Army knife got a receiver. But they need a Josh Reynolds. They need a Tim Patrick, a guy on the outside who's just a short-handed receiver who can be a check-down safety blanket dude when a lot of the attention is over the top with Williams and just the amount of coverage that St. Brown's going to get now after the last 2 seasons that he's had. So Tim Patrick's a really good addition for them. And honestly, him going to a contender, him going to a really solid team, that's better than the position he would have been in here. Obviously, I know he probably wanted to stay, but it's a better position for him and overall better position for Denver. So yeah, it sucks, but that's what had to happen. But yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Like Denver had a lot of big, slow guys, and they just need some more variety in the receiving room. Unfortunately, Judy's gone, but Judy, I don't think Sean Payton liked Judy. Judy, I don't think the future for him was here. So getting rid of him, you're gonna need a jump from Marvin Mims, and you have to expect at least something from Troy Franklin. But if anything, it'll come from Devon Vele. But yeah, they have a couple of guys who are going to do it, but I feel like the next couple of drafts is going to be kind of rebuilding the receiver room in terms of just some versatility. Uh, and I mean they want Sutton at least because they recently there was a report that they turned down a trade for Sutton. It would have sent Ayuk to
yeah. That was
Pittsburgh.
crazy.
It would have
Yeah,
sent Sutton to San Francisco and a third to Denver. And Denver was the only one who shut it down. San Francisco and Pittsburgh were down for it, and Denver was like, "No, we're keeping Sutton," which I think is a good idea. I think he's worth more than a third. But also, if you're going to get rid of Patrick, you have to keep Sutton because I think he'll be another good opportunity or good option for a rookie quarterback. I remember when Drew Lock was a rookie, that was the year Cortland Sutton kind of he took over, and that was like his breakout year. So I'm looking forward to that happening. But yeah, I'm with you on the receiver thing. This just the lack of variety kind of hurt. And
yeah,
unfortunately, Patrick was the oldest and the most expensive. So, and he wasn't on the Saints before.
yeah. The other couple of things that like kind of surprised me, I guess, is them keeping four running backs and them keeping four tight ends. Um, I feel like keeping four tight ends is pretty rare. But they really like Nate Adkins. Again, this contributes to the Michael Burton cut. And teams usually keep 6 receivers. So the Broncos having 5. Again, Lil Jordan is really 6, but having 5, um, on the 53, I think is rare. And that comes with them keeping 4 running backs and 4 tight ends. The Blake Watson over Tyler Beatty decision had to be a really tough one, I feel like, for Sean Payton and George Payton. Beatty has been here for longer. I feel like this is his 3rd year, I think. He's been on the practice squad for all 3 years. Um, did they resign him to the practice squad? I think they
Yeah,
did again.
they did. Yeah. Which
I
I mean, there's nothing he could have done more. I feel
I
like.
know, right? Like I feel like he outplayed Watson in the preseason, but Peyton likes the versatility Watson gives you. Like he can be kind of a hybrid, like running back receiver in the slot type of guy. Undrafted rookie, that was another thing. 2 undrafted rookies made the Broncos, which makes it, I think, 24 of the last 25 years that an undrafted rookie has made the roster. And
Mhm.
that was Frank Crum, which I guess was another interesting one. Sean Payton really liked what he saw on tape. Obviously, like he was easily noticeable for giving up, I think, 3 sacks in one of the games or throughout the whole preseason. Um, but I think he likes his athleticism. Really big guy, 6'7". So
Yeah.
that was an interesting one. But I like the potential though of Crum for sure.
Yeah. That athleticism is the only reason he's there, and that's the reason they kept him on the 53 because they know if they let him hit waivers or they make him a free agent, he's getting scooped up by somebody who's just going to keep him on the practice squad and develop him. So I doubt he's going to be active for most of the games, honestly. But he's just on the 50. He's on the 53 so he can practice with the team and so they can keep an eye on him and develop him. But yeah, Sean Payton talked about his athleticism and stuff. So yeah, his potential's there for sure. But yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
6'7", he's huge for an offensive lineman, and he has athleticism you don't normally see from them. So yeah, but I was surprised at that too.
Yeah. So it looks like I think the center will be Wattenberg, right? Um,
I think so.
yeah, so it'll be Wattenberg, Miners, Powers, Bowles, McGlinchey. Matt Pert was kept on the team, veteran guy. He was with the Giants. Um, and then the defense, this wasn't really like surprising at all up until the day after they made all the cuts. They ended up cutting Lavelle Bailey and then picking up Christian Welch from the Packers. Both of them had good preseasons for each respective team. Welch is an older guy, 26. I think Bailey was a rookie, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
undrafted.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, more experience with Welch. I believe he had an interception in the preseason. And so they end up picking whatever. I mean, people were mad at that because like I think fans just get tied to like their preseason like favorites. And seeing them leave always makes fans angry, but you also most of the fans don't watch other teams' preseasons and don't know about Christian Welch having a good preseason, so it just looks like it's just like a weird
And
move.
they,
But
they signed Lavelle Bailey to the practice squad today,
yeah,
so
yeah,
like there's really no harm done with that. But it's also like Lavelle Bailey had a good game against Arizona, and he had the pick six, so his name is just a lot bigger than other people because of that huge play.
right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, but other than that, well, Wazirike making the team is cool. He was
yeah,
out for the last year with the gambling suspension, but I guess he's changed up. So he's on the team. He's got a lot of potential. We haven't really seen him like outside of his rookie year where he kind of like barely played. We haven't seen him.
yeah,
So I'm excited to see that. Jordan Jackson actually making the team was surprising to me. He had a really good game against the Cardinals, 2 sacks, uh, which were his first career sacks in his preseason or regular season career. And so, I mean, that's cool seeing him make the team. I think he was a Sean Payton Saints guy originally
yeah.
undrafted.
I think so too.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, really the defense outside of those two, I feel like is pretty went, according to how most people would assume it to go.
Yeah, yeah, same. I mean, I'm pretty sure Riley Moss won the cornerback two battle. So it'll be him and Sertan next to each other.
Yeah.
Damari Mathis had a decent preseason. He played a lot better than he did last year. And honestly, like I've said it before, he is much closer to the rookie version of him than last season's version of him. I think it was just horrific start to the season last year, and he could never recover. But I like him. Honestly, him in the slot, I think is or not him. McMillan will be the guy in the slot, but
Yeah.
him as the fourth corner in dime sets is going to be fine. Or if they want to bring another safety in, that's also fine. But I like Moss, and honestly, it's good that Riley Moss is a great sign. Obviously, I know Denver's cornerback room is not the deepest, but the fact that Riley Moss in year two, after not having that many reps at corner last year, is now a starter, that's a really, really good sign. I mean, they've talked about him a lot in camp. He's had a really good camp. His athleticism pops a lot. He was good on special teams last year, but it's a good sign the fact that someone who didn't play a lot last year is already a starter now, despite the fact they didn't have any reps. So I'm excited for him. I'm really excited to see how that pairing works out because I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah. I also always just like the veteran cornerback signing. Like Levi Wallace is just solid, I
Yeah.
think. Like it reminds me of them picking up I was trying to remember his name. I'm blanking on his name, but he wore the cast for the Broncos. I think his last name was Williams from the 49ers.
K'Waun
Um
Williams.
yeah. Like we signed him and he had a great when he was healthy, he had a great
Mm-hmm.
run. I mean, same with Ronald Darby. Obviously Darby's like more of a outside, more prominent, like starting corner. But yeah, like just signing veteran corners in a young corner room is good. So um, Tremont Smith, I don't think he's really going to play defense. He's more just like a returner. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's out there for now with Damari Mathis being on the IR. Maybe Smith will get some run, but we'll see. They also kept five safeties, which is a lot. So they'll probably one of those guys, will probably be on there instead of Smith. So I think Mathis out the first four games
I think
at
so
least.
because you played in the preseason, so it's probably first 4 weeks,
Yeah,
which sucks. But
yeah,
yeah, but I like the five safeties as well. Denver's safety room is not good. I think that's their weakest position, honestly. Um, I think that's their weakest position group. So having as many as possible you can rotate in and out is good. Obviously, PJ Locke is going to be the main guy, but then having guys you can rotate in and out. JL Skinner, I'm really excited to see him. I know he's going to get snaps at safety this year. So I'm excited to see how he goes, especially because I'm pretty sure Brandon Jones is he on IR as well, or is he on the
It
PUP?
says on I don't know on ESPN it says he's on the active roster.
Okay,
But so I think he came like he was injured throughout the preseason, but maybe he's healthy now.
okay. Well, regardless, I don't
Yeah,
think like because he didn't play that much in preseason, coming off an injury, Skinner's gonna get snaps. I'm sure Jones will be on a snap count, so Skinner's gonna get some looks, which I'm really excited for. And I don't remember his name, but it's number 43. He's a
Adrian
safety.
Smith. Yeah,
Yes, that guy was always around the ball in the preseason. He was
yeah,
either forcing a fumble, recovering a fumble, intercepting. He was always around the ball, and so I think he has some potential to break
yeah,
through in case of any injuries or anything like that. So
yeah,
I like just having guys in that safety room is good because we also know Denver's safeties get injured more than any other group ever. So and that's the funny thing. Everyone was freaking out when Denver waived Caden Stearns, but he didn't even when he signed. I think he signed with Carolina. He didn't even make their team because he couldn't pass the physical.
yeah.
So
Oh wow.
that's the reason why they waived him. Caden Stearns, I would have loved to see him play more. He's so good when he's healthy on the
Yeah.
field. He just could not stay healthy. So I think he's on Philly's practice squad now.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but yeah, but that's another thing. Like it's just he would have been great to have, but he's just not healthy enough. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, speaking of injuries, I feel like they came out of camp relatively healthy, especially, there's no like big time players out. Drew Sanders got hurt early. Hopefully he's back this season. I think he will be like towards the back half, maybe even, the halfway point. I feel like he could be back.
yeah,
Um, Ronnie Perkins, I feel like he's got some potential. It sucks that he was out for the whole preseason. Quinn Bailey's probably the biggest
Yeah.
loss probably just be. I mean, like he doesn't start, but he's just so important because he can play anywhere. Um, and an offensive lineman's bound to get hurt at some point. So it's
Hmm.
big that he's out because we saw how the other backups fared in the preseason. It wasn't pretty. Um, so I mean, yeah, but like outside of that, it's a good thing, Sutton and them were all injured. Like I remember that just that was the whole thing with the Broncos. Like Von Miller hurt in the preseason, Bradley Chubb hurt in the preseason, Tim Patrick hurt in the preseason. I feel like Judy, I forget, but he would get hurt. Um, but it seems like ever since these 2 years Sean Payne has been here, the injuries haven't been too bad,
Yeah.
which is
They've
good.
been they've been a lot better. Just in general, their strength and conditioning's been a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't the name of the guy who was,
Oh,
but he was not.
it was like a girl's name, like
Was it
Lauren, I think, or something.
Lauren
But
Landau?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
That's
that's
what it was. Yeah,
that guy was not good. He was very bad. But they got rid of him, and he's since then it's been a lot better. But because I remember it was almost every single season. Oh, this dude ACL tear. Oh, this dude Achilles. Oh, this guy's shoulder injury. Oh, this guy's out for the year before he plays a snap. Every single season it would happen. So I'm glad that that is not a thing because that
yeah,
just and we just experienced it with the Nuggets. I mean, Deron Holmes going out with an Achilles after seeing him play too. That's the unfortunate part. So not having that happen is great. It's happened to a couple other teams. I mean, if I was a Vikings fan with McCarthy out for the season after seeing him play well, oh man, that like I don't wish that on anybody. It's just the
yeah,
worst.
yeah. Except maybe Michigan fans, but yeah. No, I'm kidding. All right. Anyways, that's the Broncos roster. You want to like get into these NFL Week One? We don't know if we're gonna
Yeah.
record by the time they actually start, so we might as well just give the predictions now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, a banger matchup Thursday, Baltimore at Kansas City. Um, I really wish Baltimore played their players in the preseason. I think that's going to come back to hurt them. First game at Kansas City, and it's the first game for all these starting guys, pretty much for the Ravens. I think is really tough to to just go out there and win, man. So like,
Yeah.
it's tough for me to pick Baltimore. They lost 15 players in free agency, so there's a lot of turnover. Um, that combined with the lack of preseason, combined with that ad being at Kansas City, the Chiefs are always ready. They played in the preseason, so I'm going Kansas City. AFC rematch, but I feel like Kansas City actually wins this one like 27-17 or something. Like not really too close, but we'll see.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what I was gonna go with too. Like I not playing your starters is fine, but when you have a game, at least play them in the last game, just so they can get some sort of
Yeah.
rhythm before an early season matchup. So we'll see. Baltimore is always injured as well, so I understand why they're being careful with it, especially with Lamar. Um, but we'll see. Yeah, but I'm with you on that. Kansas City always comes out ready, and especially after last season, they kind of had a letdown against Detroit. Like they definitely should have won. So they want to win on Banner Night. So I think they're going to come out a lot more juiced than they were last season. So I'll go Kansas City. I'll go 31-24.
All right, I like that. Friday, this will be interesting too. At Brazil, there's been a lot of Brazil talk recently. Um, but I think everything hopefully goes smoothly in the game, but it should be a really good game as well. Um, Man, this is tough. I like it's not really at like I see at Philly, it's not at Philly.
Yeah.
Um, Man, this one's really tough. Green Bay's defense, is good. I think that's probably going to be like their main strength. I feel like. Um, Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say Green Bay wins this actually. Um, they win it 20 or let's go 30 because I think they can expose Philly's defense a little bit. Their cornerbacks. I
Yeah.
don't know how you feel. Like there's a lot. Like you can either feel really good about the Packers receiving room or like feel bad about it. I'm leaning more of like I feel good about it. There's not really a proven star out there, but like all four of those dudes Watson, Dobbs, Wicks, and then I'm forgetting another guy.
Jaden Reed.
Yeah, Jaden Reed. All those guys are good, I think. So I think a combination of all those dudes against Phillies corners. I'm gonna say Green Bay wins 30-23.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go Philly, and then I remembered how old it's not like they're not bad Phillies corners, they're just old, and I think
Yeah.
the speed of Green Bay is gonna play a huge factor in that. I mean, Josh Jacobs' debut with Green Bay, which would be cool, but I don't think that's gonna play a factor. I think Philly's run defense is good, and it's always been good, but the secondary is going to be an issue for sure. So I think I'll go Green Bay, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think either of these teams are excited to be in Brazil. Honestly, Jeez, it is so windy outside. Oh my god. I don't think either of these teams are excited to be in Brazil. Honestly, like every single interview with them about it's
Yeah.
just been like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, all right, cool, we'll go. Because they like can't leave their hotels. Like they were told to not go anywhere when they're in Brazil. You go there, you practice, you play the game, and you leave. It's like, what is the point? Also,
Right.
why would they the two most green teams in football to go to a place where you're not supposed to wear green? Like, what? I don't understand what their idea was with that. That is just horrific scheduling by the NFL. I don't get it. Maybe just in that area, like Packers and Eagles are the two most favorite teams, so they just schedule. I don't know
I
why,
have no idea.
but that is like the stupid. It is so dumb. I mean, there's nothing that they can't actually experience because they were literally told not to go anywhere. So I don't think they're going to be amped for the game. I think it's just going to be a low energy. Like it'll be a fun game to watch because it's Brazil's first game in Brazil. But I think it'll be a low energy game for the players. So I'm gonna go like I'm gonna go 19-13.
Wow.
Green.
Wow. All right. We both agree on the first two matchups. This one I feel like we're gonna agree as well. Pittsburgh at Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 3. Just looking at this, like I feel like it's my favorite bet is Atlanta -3 of the whole
Yeah.
week. Like Russ didn't look good in the preseason. I don't think Pittsburgh is good at all. And whereas, on the other side of things, I think Atlanta is really good. I think they're a playoff caliber team. Kirk Cousins being there is just such a big upgrade over Desmond Ritter. Like, hopefully, Kyle Pitts finally can use his potential and has a big fantasy season for me for once. We'll see. I mean, Hawkinson had a really good season with Kirk Cousins last year, so hopefully that translates. And then, obviously the weapons, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. That team is honestly like it's pretty stacked at a lot of positions.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna say Atlanta wins this one. I don't like how Kirk didn't play at all in the preseason, but um, yeah, I'll say Atlanta wins pretty handily. I don't know how Pittsburgh scores, honestly. I'm gonna say Atlanta 27, Pittsburgh 10.
Yeah, I agree. The Pittsburgh's offense, I didn't like hate watch Pittsburgh because honestly, like I don't have anything against Russ. Like I just it wasn't obviously the Hackett situation really sucked. I don't think anyone like yeah, Russ was not the correct fit for that offense. Hackett wasn't the correct fit for the team, and I think that ruined everything more than just Russ falling off a lot more than everyone anticipated. So I don't have anything against him. I know he's a good person, but also it's just I was just watching just to see what it would look like, and yeah, it was bad. The Buffalo game was horrible. I don't think he made like one good play, and that is very concerning. Honestly, I'm like legitimately uh concerned as to why they even chose him as a quarterback rather than just keep Fields, just go with Fields and do what, you know, just go with Fields. I really don't get it. It made no sense.
My bad.
Like
My
off on accident.
bad. Yeah, I actually closed this, and I meant to close the other tab I had open. um. Anyways, yeah. What was your? Did you give a prediction?
No, not yet. I was just saying I don't know why they even chose Russ as the starter. I mean, Fields, like that's the thing. Fields didn't look better than Russ, but at least he's young and at least he's exciting and at least maybe you can get something out of him because he did play decent the last half. Like he played good the last
Yeah.
half of the season with Chicago, so maybe you can get something out of him. Just playing Russ just really feels like the safe route, just to kind of have a game manager and not really have to worry about the mistakes that a rookie or a young quarterback would make. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Atlanta. Um, yeah, I'll go like yeah. You said 27-10. I'll just go like 28-10. Honestly, like I really I don't even think that Pittsburgh's run game is that good either. Like Najee Harris is good. Jalen Warren's a really good second back, but I don't like their offensive line enough to actually be able to create holes. Even though I
Yeah.
mean Atlanta's defense is not great, but
Yeah.
still.
Arizona at Buffalo. Um, you know, dang it, I can't see what they're favored by now. I took a picture of it to edit to like write down the scores, and I didn't get the line. Oh wait, maybe I can see it a little bit. I think it. No, I don't know what it is. Um, Presumably Buffalo by like I would say like 8.5 or something like that. Um,
Let's see. Six. Buffalo by
Six.
six.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it seems like people aren't very high on Buffalo at all, which makes sense with the Diggs departure. But I also feel like they added, I mean, Diggs didn't really like do much at the end of last season, and I feel like they kind of added, better pieces overall in that group. I'm gonna say Buffalo wins. Um, I don't know how good Arizona's deep. They were decent last year
Yeah.
defensively, and the year before with Vance Joseph, but um. I'm gonna say Buffalo wins 31 to 21. No field goals for
I'm gonna
Arizona.
make it a little closer. I'll make it a little closer than that. I'll say uh 28-25 Buffalo. Weird score for Arizona. But I like Arizona, honestly. Like I think they played decent down the stretch last year. They just had a pretty tough schedule, but they had some good wins. I mean, they beat uh they beat Philly on the road. I know Philly was like really in a free fall at that point, but they beat Philly on the road with like a game-winning drive late in the year when Philly definitely had stuff to play for, and Arizona didn't. Arizona would have been better if they had just lost out. But I like Kyler. I think he is like criminally underrated in the NFL right now. I like the addition of obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be an elite receiver from day one. So we'll see how it looks with Kyler because I don't think they played that many snaps together in preseason. But yeah, I like him, but it's on the road. It's a tough game. Buffalo is such a hard place to win. Uh, and yeah, even though Buffalo lost some pieces with Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, I still think Josh Allen and James Cook is enough to do it. And they still have Knox and Kincaid as well as receiving threats at the tight end position. So yeah, I like it. I like Buffalo. Yeah, 28-25.
All right, next game. I'm really excited about this one. Tennessee at Chicago. This was a good preseason game, right? Um, I believe for most of it until Caleb Williams started to figure it out. Um, I think it's going to be a close game at Chicago, though. In Caleb Williams' debut, it feels like it's just like too good not to pick the Bears. Um, Tennessee, I think Tennessee's underrated, honestly. I don't like the switch from going Mike Vrabel to Brian Callahan, but at least Callahan's more of an offensive minded guy for a young QB, Will Levis. They have weapons. Calvin Ridley looked good in the preseason. Tony Pollard at running back. Chicago's pass rush is probably the most concerning part of their defense. And, you know, when Will Levis doesn't get sacked, he's pretty good. So um, I think Tennessee can put up some points against Chicago. I think Chicago, Caleb, week one, he did play a lot in the preseason, still week one against a real defense. Could be a little tough in the first half, maybe, and then he turns it up. I'm going to, you know what? Caleb Williams' debut is getting ruined by Will Levis. 28-23 Titans.
It's bold pick, but I like it. Tennessee does have pieces. Like It's just sucks because they're in a tough division. They're in
Yeah.
a division with three teams that are going to be competing for the division and then also the wild card with Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Houston. So it's tough. Their division is going to screw them a little bit, but I think they definitely have the talent to compete in a lot of games. Specifically in this one, I feel like them and Chicago are on very similar tiers. Yeah, I love the addition of Ridley getting him uh, for a rookie quarterback is big. They still have Hopkins, who was still, I mean, obviously he was in Tennessee last year. They weren't good, so he didn't get a lot of attention, but he's still a very, very good player. Like he still had a very, very good season when he was healthy. I mean, he had a 4 touchdown game, right? I'm pretty sure last year. Like he
Yeah.
still can do it. Very, very at a very high level. Honestly, I forgot Tony Pollard was on the team until yesterday. I was helping my brother out with a fantasy draft, and I was like, "Oh, what running backs are left?" And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, Tony Pollard, Tennessee. Whoa!"
Yeah.
It just I say it every time. The NFL offseason's so long that you just forget what
Right, right.
happens in like
There,
the
there
first.
was so much running back turnover too. Like
Yeah,
all these new teams that the running backs joined lost a star running back. It's crazy.
it's insane. It's nuts. But I do like that offense. But I think this is like the perfect opportunity for the Bears to win. Like this is the time to show that they're for real and that they can actually do it. Um, I love their offense. Honestly, like I think their offense is gonna actually be very good this season. Because not only obviously drafting Caleb is big, but you know, surrounding him with Keenan Allen and also Rome Odunze, like there's just so many weapons, and
Yeah.
he's very good. He's good enough to be able to find them. Like that's the issue. Like Denver a few years ago had a lot of weapons. They just didn't have the quarterback to get them the ball, and their offense sucked because of it. Even last year, their offense was not good because the quarterback could not get the ball to the playmakers in the right spots. Caleb's not that. Even though he is a smaller guy, he can throw it over the middle. He's obviously an incredible improviser. So I like Chicago. Score let's say 35-27. I think it's a
All
high
right,
scoring
all
one.
right. That's good. We
It's a
got a
high.
lot of high scoring games so far. Um,
Yeah.
week one, I don't know how realistic that is, but we'll see. New England at Cincinnati. And like Cincinnati's another one of these teams that didn't play in the preseason. They're lucky they start off with New England. I'm gonna be scared with them going to Kansas City in week two. It's like the first two games Kansas City has against like two difficult opponents haven't played in a very long time. Um, so I mean, this is a good little warm up game for Cincinnati. I'm obviously going to pick them to win. New England's just not good enough whatsoever. Brissett starting. Um, I, I I could see Cincinnati's offense struggling though. Like
Yeah.
you don't know about Jamar. Is he in? Is he out? Obviously, as I said, they haven't played in a long time. Joe Burrow's been kind of banged up. New England's defense isn't terrible, I guess. I'm gonna say Bengals only scored 23, but New England only scores like 13. So
Yeah.
I'll go actually I'll go 2013 Cincinnati. So New
13.
England covers, but
Nah, hey,
yeah.
great teams don't win, they cover.
Are the
That's the
Bengals
rule.
great? Are the Bengals great?
Yeah, I like I like Cincinnati in this one. But yeah, same thing like I not playing your starters, especially when a lot of them are coming off injury and stuff, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Burrow, I don't know how he's gonna look. He didn't play in preseason, and he couldn't grip the ball last time he played. So we'll see how that looks. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, the Jamar thing is definitely an issue. And then I mean, they lost Joe Mixon, who was a big part of their offense last year without Burrow, and his backup Chris Evans is also injured. I believe. I think he's out for the season with an ACL or something. So I don't know what the running back situation looks like. I don't think
Zach Moss season. He always
Zach
goes
Moss.
off. Yeah, he always just like finds a team where their running back gets injured and then he has like a 35-point fantasy game like back to back weeks.
All right, well, it's Zach Moss season then, because they don't have another option. I mean, T Higgins is there, but T Higgins also has his own contract issues. So yeah, Cincinnati's low-key in a
I
pretty
think they
rough
also
spot.
have that his last name's Brown from he played at Illinois, the running back like Chase Brown, I think. He was a
Oh yeah,
rookie
yeah.
there last year.
Yes, yes, yes. He's good.
Yeah.
So they have some pieces, but yeah, like you said, they haven't all played together in like 8 months, 9 months. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a low scoring one. I'll say 16-7.
Wow. Okay. I like that. Way under. I wish we
Yeah.
could like see the weather situation. I don't know the weather situation for any of these games. Um, Houston at Indiana. Ooh, this is a good one. Or Indianapolis. Um, Houston, I'm gonna say goes in there and wins it. I think CJ Stroud is just, I mean, just like amazing. I did like a quarterback tier ranking like a couple days ago. I think he could be like top five when it's all said and done this year, at the end of the year. And I feel like, these great teams, because I think Houston is a great team. I think they just come and just show out like week one at Indianapolis, indoor stadium. Seems like they can get some deep shots against Indy against them. So I'm gonna say Houston. I'm gonna say they put up. Do I really want to go like 38? That seems really high, but 38, 38 to 20. Wow, that's a blowout.
Oh, that's a big blowout.
27,
That's a
27, 27.
that's a good game to have week one. I mean, that's what the rematch of the last game of the year last season, where whoever won got into the playoffs, and obviously Houston won, so that's big. I wonder what's the Sunday night game. Oh, Sunday night game, Rams Lions. Actually, that makes Rams Lions is probably going to be a better one. But yeah, Texans Colts is interesting. Like Anthony Richardson, he did look good last season, but Indianapolis played better when Minshew was playing. Like they just were a lot steadier. Obviously, Richardson only played like 2.5 games or something. He was injured in two of them, and he was out for the season in the last one. So we'll see how he looks. I mean, he had that one drive against Cincinnati in the preseason game where it looked really good, but then his next two were really bad, and he threw a pick six. So I don't know. Anthony Richardson, he's still such a weird case because he's very similar to like Trey Lance, honestly. Like I just think he actually played his rookie year. I kind of even, but he just played more in college than Trey Lance. But Anthony Richardson just has not played that much football. He started like 13 games at Florida, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that. I mean, he got drafted because of the intangibles, and he does have them all. He's incredible arm strength. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. He has ridiculous strength and physicality. He's like a souped up Cam Newton almost is what I see when I watch him. But I don't know if he's actually good at playing quarterback. So we'll see. I mean, he'll be
yeah,
a great quarterback, but I don't know if he'll be a good actual NFL quarterback yet. He just has not. He just hasn't played. That's just my issue. So I'm still a little weary of that. I still think it'll take him a few games to get ramped up with this offense. So I'm with you on Houston. I don't think it'll be that big of a deficit though, because I think Indianapolis's defense can hold a little bit more. So I'll go 28-20 Houston. Because I
all
actually do really
right.
like Houston. I think Houston's gonna be really, really good this season.
Yeah, yeah,
But
not
I also will say Houston could also be Jacksonville from last year, right? Jacksonville kind of came out of nowhere, won their last game of the season to win the division, won a playoff game, and then the next year they trade for a receiver. They got Calvin Ridley. Houston gets Diggs. You think that they're gonna, show
Mhm.
out, and then they kind of collapse towards the end of the season. So we'll see. It's very, very similar circumstances. Although I think
Yeah.
Houston's much better suited to handle it, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Houston 28-20.
All right, I like it. That's true. I kind of like wish they didn't get Diggs. I don't know, like it just seemed like those guys just had such a good rhythm last year. Like Nico Collins is better than Diggs in my opinion right now.
Yeah.
And so I just hope they don't really try to force the ball like to Diggs. And then just like keep throwing deep shots to Tank Dell because those are sick. So yeah, Jacksonville at Miami. We can kind of like go through these next ones. This one's a good game, but the next three are just kind of like whatever. Jacksonville at Miami. Man, both of them I feel like look good in preseason. I actually kind of like Jacksonville this year. I know they lost Ridley, but this kind of feels like the year of like, okay, is Trevor Lawrence really going to be like really good, or is he just going to be like this same guy, every single year? I'm feeling like he takes a step up. He's got a better release this preseason, quicker. Because like sometimes you just have this long release and just like fire it over the dude's head when he's just wide open. So I mean, I think he cleans that up. Miami though, they looked great in the preseason as well. Like,
Yeah.
and it's probably really hard. Like we saw it with Denver going against Miami early in the season. You are just not ready at all for their offense whatsoever. You
It's
haven't had a read on it, at least you can
yeah.
watch some film later on in the season once you play them. But week one, it's just based off last season's film. I guarantee you McDaniel has like 1,000 more new plays this year. Um, so I say Miami puts on a show as always. So I'll say 35. Man, I don't like all these high scoring games, but 35 30, 35 31.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's like the exact score I was thinking. But it's just yeah, Miami's offense. They might be the one offense where I look at them in preseason and be like, you know what? I like they don't have to play preseason or it's week one. They don't really need that much time to get ready because
Mhm.
it's just straight up like get the ball to these guys in space and just let them work. So I like that. Yeah, honestly, same score. That's exactly the score I was thinking.
All right.
35-31, Miami.
All right.
Yeah, this is a big year for Jacksonville. Like this is a
Yeah.
huge year. If Trevor doesn't take a step forward, you have to look at potentially retooling a little bit around him.
Yeah. We've got Carolina at New Orleans. Maybe the bottom two teams. We'll see. I mean, New England has a say in that too, but I mean this game, Carolina at New Orleans, Minnesota at the Giants, and then Vegas at the Chargers are all just kind of. I feel like I mean Vegas at LA would be fun, but um, they all could be good. They're just kind of bad teams right now. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I like both these teams just have such bad like vibes. The only positive thing I feel like with Carolina is just like, oh, maybe year two, Bryce Young takes a step up. Um, I don't know. I guess I'll just go with the more experienced offense and team, New Orleans. I'll say they win 20. Finally, here's a lowish scoring game. I'll say they win 20 to uh 13.
You take New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll take Carolina just to be fun, but I I don't want to watch this game. Like I actually like dread having to watch that game even a little bit. I just because last year I had to watch Falcons Saints and Panthers Falcons so much. I just wanted to
Oh yeah.
I want to just like turn the TV off and just not do that so much. But I don't know. Maybe this year will be better. I mean, yeah, Carolina has Deontay Johnson now, so maybe another receiver aside from Thielen and Mingo. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll go Carolina. We'll go Carolina 17, New Orleans 13.
All
I'll
right,
make a
all right.
bold prediction. New Orleans though. Derek Carr gets benched by week 10.
Boom. Week 10. Okay. Okay. It could it
Simultaneous Dennis Allen's firing.
I like it. I like it. Hopefully Dennis Allen does it sooner rather than later. Minnesota at New York. I guess Minnesota. Like I guess no. No. I'll go New York. I'll go New York. I actually feel like New York could have a maybe decent defense. Their defense has been all right like the past couple of years. So maybe their defense is better than Minnesota's this year. I don't know. I'll say 17-10 New York Giants.
Yeah, the vibes around Minnesota are just really blow right now, which is I mean the vibes around New York are never good, but I feel like they're somehow better than Minnesota's. So, but I still think Minnesota's just like they just have so much more talent offensively
Yeah.
than New York does. So, yeah, I'll go Minnesota. I'll go Minnesota 17, New York 13. Daniel Jones interception with the game on the line.
Oh, I forgot about. I didn't consider that the guaranteed Daniel Jones interception or turnover. He'll probably fumble and throw an interception. Vegas at the Chargers. Herbert's been banged up.
I don't even
Minch.
gonna play week one, right?
Oh, is he out? I don't know. I see Chargers are favored. I don't know by how much. I just see the LAC and then a minus. Um,
Let's see.
yeah, let's
Let's
see.
see if he's supposed to
Minshew,
play.
man, I don't know. I mean, Minshew's a solid quarterback. Devontae Adams still there. Brock Bowers. Um, man, I'm gonna say Vegas wins this. Hopefully, destroys Jim Harbaugh's debut. Um, and let's go 20. All right. Well, this depends. Is Herbert playing or not?
Well, he's at practice. It says he's questionable. I don't I don't think he should play. I mean, he's coming back from
Yeah.
plantar fascia, so it's not like he's I mean, it's not like this is a like a finger injury or something. This is something that he needs. I don't know. That's a interesting conundrum.
Whatever. Anyways, like even if he does play, he hasn't in a long time. I don't know how their offense will do. 20-17. Uh uh Daniel Carlson, not Anders. Daniel Carlson makes the game winning field goal.
Uh, I can't in good conscience pick the Raiders, unfortunately.
I can't pick Jim Harbaugh, man. There's no way.
I'll go Charger. Even if Herbert plays, I don't think their offense is good
Yeah.
regardless. So, I'll just go Chargers 19, Vegas 13, because I somehow think Vegas's offense is worse.
19's a good one. I feel like there's always just like a 19 in there.
Yeah.
All right, Denver at Seattle. Here we go. I know this line off the top of my head. -6 for Seattle, which, in my opinion, I hope this isn't from a biased perspective, is high, I think. And I think, man, can Denver win this game? They can. They definitely can.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, all the talk has been start off strong, not 0-5. Like they did last year. So, or 1-5, whatever it was. Start off strong. I think they. I think they will. I think they will. I think Bo Nix. I don't know. It's just tough being at Seattle. Like that's just a tough debut, but it's kind of his hometown. Like kind
Yeah.
of his college
It's the
town.
same stadium he played Washington in, I
That is
believe.
true. That is. Is that
Or
true?
no, no, it's not. But
I
it's the
don't think.
same.
Yeah,
It's close enough.
it is very close. Yeah. Um, I don't like Seattle this year, so I'm gonna say Denver wins 23-20.
23-20.
I hate the
Yeah, it's
Seattle
tough.
games, bro. Why do we have these Seattle games, man?
Seattle's a hard place to play in, even when they're bad. Like I don't think they're going to be that good this season.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just get nightmares of Russell Wilson not calling a
yeah,
timeout. Like, why do we play Seattle week one every time?
I don't know. That's tough. That's also like I don't know. That's a hard game. Even Seattle's not even like I think Seattle's all right. Uh, I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I also I don't know if Denver is a playoff team. I don't think Denver's a playoff team either yet, at least. And yeah, rookie quarterback week one going into one of the more hostile environments in football. Um, yeah, that's tough.
It's so
I
hard.
don't know.
I know.
I
I
optimistically I want to say Denver, but it's just like that's a hard. It's the fact that it's a rookie quarterback in week one. Because if here's the thing, right? If Denver wins and if Bo Nix plays well in week one, they're building him a statue like immediately. Like
yeah.
I we know how overreactive Denver gets about quarterbacks. I was ready to die for Drew Lock
I was
4
too.
years
Like,
ago.
oh,
after he went 4-1.
Yeah.
And honestly, he went 4-1. He had like 7 touchdowns in 5 games. It's not even like he was playing elite. But I was ready to die for that man. If Bo Nix goes in and beats Seattle week 1, oh my god, they might burn Denver down because like, I don't know. Optimistically, I'm gonna say Denver. I'll say Denver 24-20. Um, but it could go either way. It really could go either
I
way.
know,
That
I
is a
know. I'm
that
feeling
might
like
be
I
the
might.
hardest game to pick.
Yeah.
Like even from an unbiased perspective, it might be a hard game to pick because I think Denver has a more talented roster than Seattle, but
They got a lot
it's
of
still
weapons though. They do. That
they
like
do.
Smith and Jigba being like wide receiver 3. Yeah, that's a concern for me. Like their heavy passing attack, I feel like against Denver's young corners. I think Sertan will do a good job on Metcalf, obviously, but Moss, on Lockett or Smith and Jigba or um I mean they got a lot of guys on offense. I think
That
Denver
is
can pressure Geno though. He's not extremely, mobile. And I don't think the Seahawks O line is particularly good. Man, I don't know. But Denver has trouble like stopping good running backs also. Like Kenneth
yeah.
Walker could go off too. So I mean, it feels like it's a lot of like it feels like it's like a lot of things are gonna have to go Denver's way. Some turnovers, some missed field goals, something like that.
Hmm.
For them to win. Um, but I do have a lot of trust in Sean Payton though. So whatever. I'm gonna keep my pick. Denver wins. Man, that's just tough. But yeah, all right. Denver wins 23-20.
It's hard because that
Yeah.
like it's the same thing. I literally just forgot what team I said it with. Um, I just forgot. I think Chicago. I think rookie quarterback going in week 1 against a decently tough matchup. Like if you win that, then that's a great sign that you're serious. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's tough because I also don't think Seattle's secondary is that good.
Right, right.
I really don't. So I think Denver has a chance to exploit them. Maybe not as much, but I do think they have a chance to exploit them. But that's the thing, like, because I think Seattle's run defense is really solid. It's gonna have to come to the air. So we'll see. We'll see if Marvin Mims can break one. I think that's going to be what it takes. They have to be able to take the top off because if they just keep dinking and dunking and have to get into
Right.
third and manage all the time, I don't know if that'll work. They gotta take some shots.
Dude, how beautiful would it be to be just like first play of the game, just take a shot deep, like down the middle of the field, a post or something to Mims. Oh my God, that'd be I'm just
That
like imagining Mims running down the sideline right now
would be
on the
pretty
first
gorgeous.
play of the game. All right, that's not happening though. Let's be real. It's just gonna be a handoff to Javante for like 3 yards. All right,
Yeah.
Dallas at Cleveland. Good
Oh, that's a
game.
good one.
That's a good
That's a
game.
really good one.
I don't know who to pick. I'll pick Dallas. I think they got the better team overall. Cleveland,
Yeah.
Cleveland is like very, I don't know about like, is Deshaun going to be good? Nick Chubb's obviously out for a long period of time. Their receivers outside of Cooper aren't particularly amazing. Their defense is very solid though.
Yeah.
Probably going
Their
to be the
defense,
best defense in the league again.
yeah, their defense is elite. But I don't trust their offense like at all,
Yeah, I
especially
don't
without Sean.
either.
I really don't trust Deshaun Watson.
Dallas defense, they always like it seems like they get a pick six every single game.
Yeah. And they
Um,
play up. Like Dallas's defense plays better than their talent level all the time.
yeah, yeah.
And,
All right, I'm gonna go Dallas. I'm gonna say that they get a pick six, so that's why they get 4 points right here. 24 to 17.
I'll say 21-14 Dallas. But yeah, at Cleveland's tough though cuz they're going to be really amped up after a playoff berth.
Yeah,
So we'll see. I honestly I don't like Cleveland's offense until
yeah,
Chubb comes
yeah.
back. Then you don't know how Chubb's going to look. So
Right. All right, Washington at Tampa. This is like one of those. I mean, it's just tough. Like maybe later on in the year, Washington can beat them, but right now, with Daniel's first game, Washington's running game is really concerning to me. Like I don't know how they're going to run the ball. Austin Eckler apparently has looked better. I'm not going to trust that. um, Brian Robinson is decent, but their whole line is just not very good. It's going to be hard for them to score 10. I want to say they score 10 points. I'll go Tampa Bay, um, 23-10.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go Tampa as well. Same thing. It's hard. Rookie quarterback on the road is hard. Um, Especially with a supporting cast as poor as Washington's.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see. I mean, Dan Quinn, I think, is a better coach than Ron Rivera, at least right now. So maybe that helps. But I don't think. I mean, Tampa's a good team. Like, I do believe that. So I'll go Tampa. I'll go 24-10.
All right, Rams at Detroit. Here we go. I think this is wait, has Matt Stafford played at Detroit since he's been in
Yeah,
LA? He has,
he
yeah.
played in the playoffs last year, the divisional.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, I forgot about
Or
that.
no, not the divisional.
Um, this is tough 'cause I think both teams are good, very good. Um, Rams can score a lot, I feel like, on this Detroit defense. They have a lot of weapons. Stafford extremely good again at Detroit. Um, I feel like it's gonna be a high scoring game. Can I see that? Yeah, the over under is 50 and a half. The highest over under of the week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this feels like a 30-27 type of game, but Detroit being at home, I'll say they win that.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'll go with the Rams, actually. I do think the Rams I mean, they're in like kind of a mini they did a great job of bridging the gap between like tearing it down and still being able to compete. Because they like last year, I did not think they were going to be good because they were older, or they were older the year before, and you really didn't know what the team was going to look like. You didn't know how Stafford was going to look, and they looked great last season. So I think coming into this year is a ton of momentum. I think Detroit is due for a letdown game early. They still have to get ready, get a little bit more real. I think that they're going to be a little bit too amped up, and they might commit some mistakes that they probably shouldn't. So I'll go Detroit, or I'll go Rams 28, uh, Detroit 24.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I really like LA this year. So I mean, that's a good pick, I think. All right, Monday night, the Jets at the Niners. I believe, like, is everybody healthy for both teams?
I think
Um,
so. I think Niners might be a little banged up.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, here we go. Finally, his first real game. Hopefully he lasts more than like a play. Um, the Niners obviously hard to stop. The Jets got a good defense. The Jets are so whatever polarizing too because they could be really good. They could be, you know, not very good. But I'm thinking that they're going to be good this year. Like I feel like the teammates they seem to like Aaron Rodgers a lot. Um, the defense is very solid. At the Niners though is tough. That I mean that's hard to just say Jets in that one, but I do think the Jets will be good and make the playoffs this year. But I'll say that the Niners win this game. Um, it's gonna be close, 24-23.
Oh, real close. Close one of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I like San Francisco in this one too. I think they got a little bit more wind in their sails. Getting the IU contracts
right.
figured out before the season starts is huge. Obviously, the Ricky Pearsall thing happening sucks as well. That takes a lot of momentum out. But fortunately, he's okay, so they don't have to worry about it too much. I don't think he was gonna be that big of a contributor, at least on the field, uh, too much early on. So
Yeah,
from a football standpoint, it won't work. Obviously from like a vibes and just motivation standpoint, it definitely will hurt a little bit. But nonetheless, I still like San Francisco. Um, they still have good players. Purdy's still good. McCaffrey's still good. Kittle's still good. Debo did not look good in preseason. There was this one route he tried running a double move, and it was like
Yeah,
it was the weakest double move
he still
I've
caught it
ever
though,
seen.
which is wild. But
Yeah, he still caught it.
yeah,
It was a great catch, good throw. Like it was still a cool play, but it was the double move didn't do a single thing, so a little concerning. But yeah, I still think San Francisco wins. But I agree with you on the Jets. I think they're going to be decent. I mean, shoot, even last year, like they weren't that bad last year. Like
yeah,
they were good for a decent portion. I mean, what they were above 500 like decently late into the year. I feel
yeah. I feel
like,
like they're like pushing for like a playoff spot a little bit.
yeah. But then they just fell apart. Their offense
Yeah,
just couldn't
yeah,
handle. We'll see how the Hackett offense works. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, even at this age, is better than Russ was 2 years ago and what Zach Wilson was last year. So that is a huge part of it. But yeah, San Francisco. I don't think it'll be that close, honestly. I think it'll be like I'll go 26-17, San Francisco. Uh,
yeah. That's solid.
it'll be close, and San Francisco will get like a late touchdown to make it bigger.
All right, there's our picks. We'll see how we do this week. I don't know. Did you
Yeah,
like keep track of your picks at all?
me. I mean, I'll just do it again.
All right,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
keep it the same, or I'll watch it back.
yeah. All right,
I'll keep track of
all
it
right.
somewhere. Yeah.
That'll probably
All
wrap
right.
up the episode. Here we go. NFL football finally getting off to a start. I hated how it was like college football and then nothing on Sunday. Like it should be
Yeah.
college football and then the NFL on Sunday. That was disappointing, but finally
Yeah.
this week we'll get it.
Yes.
So
I'm
yeah, I'm hyped.
excited.
Yeah.
I have Sunday off, so I can actually watch the game. So that'll be good. Be good. I can finally use Red Zone. It's been so long since I've used Red Zone, man. It's been straight up like 2 years, so I'm excited to
hmm
to get back on and just rot away on Sundays. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be it for this episode. We'll be back next week whenever we can. Probably just on a Tuesday again. Um, but yeah, hey, and basketball's a lot closer than it seems too. Media day is probably going to come up in
That's true.
like a month. So we'll get back into that as well, and that'll be fun to talk about. We have a lot of stuff to talk about with regarding the Nuggets. So get into that. But yeah, for now, that'll be it.